ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have a drink and we're going to answer one of the great questions of the universe. If a tree falls in the forest and there's no one around, does it make a sound? This is a Zenist question. And I think it actually loses something in translation. Before I get any further, let me of course remind you that for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. If you'd be so kind as to comment, like, and subscribe, you'd be doing your part for a better world. Now, I remember more than 25 years ago, somebody asked this quote. I was actually in a 68 Camaro when it happened. And everybody said, if there's no human being around to call it sound, how can it make a sound? And I said, sound is a concept of physics. It is irrelevant whether there are people around. The sound is there. They were unhappy with this answer. But it's like, what is sound? Sound is a wave of energy moving through a medium that is audible. Okay? There are sounds that are too low for the human to hear. That does not make them no longer sounds. Theoretically speaking, if a boulder falls off a cliff on Mars, it makes a sound. There is nothing living to perceive that sound, but the evidence of the sound would remain. Shock waves from the sound would still be there. That's part of the nature of the universe, is that sound is not dependent on human beings. But that's why I think there might be something lost in translation, because I once read a book, I think it was called Zen Flesh and Zen Bones, where they said, can a dog exhibit Buddhist principles? And the answer was, what is the sound of one hand clapping, or if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, doesn't make a sound? This is kind of the thing. It's like, there was a time when two swordsmen, or two samurai, I believe, or they could have been sword makers, I don't know, had their katana, and they plunged them into the river to see which one was better. And the leaves, when they hit one katana, would slice in half. And the leaves, when they hit the other katana, would turn away. And so the guy says, aha, mine is sharper. And then the farmer looks over and says, yes, but the other katana does not cut needlessly, as Buddha would not cut needlessly. So there is such a thing as a Buddhist sword. Yeah, I still think that if a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, it still falls and makes a noise. I mean, if there's a rat and the tree falls by the rat hears the falling tree and runs. You could say, but the rat would not call it sound. No, but we don't define sound by humanity. We define sound beyond humanity. The rat can hear sounds that we cannot. So, in the forest, there would have to be something to hear the sound. And even then, why should the sound care if it is heard? Personally, I'm of the opinion that, the tree makes a sound. This is not satisfying to a lot of people. People are like, but I want the tree to not make a sound. But it's much like those questions, like what came first, the chicken or the egg? These are quantifiable. If you talk about it existentially, if you talk about it philosophically, yeah, I guess you can keep saying, you need a chicken to lay a chicken's egg, and you need a chicken's egg to get a chicken out of it. But science says no, the chicken was essentially caused by a mutation, and therefore, whatever laid the first chicken egg was not a chicken. Right? Because a chicken came out of the egg, therefore it's a chicken's egg. Just like if a tree falls in the forest, it makes a sound. Whether a human being quantifies that sound or not, the sound is still there. One of the things we do as human beings is we think of ourselves as the center of the universe. There was a time in human history when we believed the Earth was the center of the solar system, and therefore the planets would make loop-de-loops through the sky in order to orbit around us. It was a matter of controversy. It was a matter of great debate whether the universe could be so flawed as to not have the Earth at its center. But then, we as human beings realized that that was a silly way of looking at things, and the problems that we had with our perception of the universe slowly drifted away. By understanding that our perspective was just one spot in a vast universe, we suddenly realized that no, that's not how things are. So if you want to define sound as a human perception, then okay, I guess the tree doesn't make a sound. If you want to define sound by physics, by the shock wave, by the medium creating the noise, the reverberations that would cause sound, not the human perception of it, then yes, the tree makes a sound. We as human beings have learned that our minuscule understanding of the universe is flawed and limited, and only when we step out of ourselves can we truly see. So to me, the tree makes a sound. The Earth is not the center of the universe. And I still think a dog can probably exhibit some kind of Buddhist principle. Not consciously. It can't say, I'm going to be a Buddhist today. But a dog can exhibit kindness, and I believe Buddhists are supposed to be kind. I don't know a lot about Buddhism. I admit I don't know a lot of things. Knowing the limitations of my intelligence is quite difficult. It is the mark of true intelligence. Unfortunately, I'm not that smart. But, of course, then do understand that many of us believe, or science believes, the universe is infinite, and therefore you can choose any point to be the center of it if you wish. You could say that this is the center of the universe, and if I move it like this, no, this didn't move. The earth moved. This is something that could be justified mathematically, although that fell on the ground. Although it wouldn't give you a better understanding. It's one of those irrational concepts that is very difficult for the human mind to wrap its head around. So, realistically speaking, tree makes a noise. Humanistically speaking, make up your own decision. What's the difference? This particular concept will have no particular bearing on your life, regardless of its answer. But then, neither will the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Anyway, thank you for sharing this moment with me. I, of course, am Richard. Hey, Astro, did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? Yeah, Nance, I heard the food was good, but it had no atmosphere. Now that was a corny joke, but you know what isn't a joke? A clean environment. And this channel will buy one of these bracelets I'm holding from 4Ocean for every 1,000 subscribers it gets. So you should comment, like, and subscribe. Support us so we can support a better world.